So thank you for being here. My name is Kelly, owner and founder of Gia's Italian Kitchen, and I am part of the events calendar for the Marion Library. So I do this once a month. It's either like the first or second Thursday of each month, and it's all Italian themed. My heritage is Italian. My family's from around the Florence area, which is kind of the middle of the country. And I'm really excited to be part of the programming. So tonight we're going to make a very classic two little appetizers that you would often find like in a coffee shop, where they make these in the morning and they stick them in the glass case, and they're usually served room temperature, with your coffee or your beer or your glass of wine. But these are really delicious little appetizers. So in front of you, you have your class packets. The recipes are in there, so you can take those home. Feel free to scribble on those. Those are yours to keep. And hopefully you will feel comfortable making these again when you get home and being able to recreate these. So my classes are interactive. This is not a food demo. This is a cooking experience. So I do love for you to come up and help me cut stuff up and feel yourself doing the thing, so that you will feel more successful when you get home, because you'll remember how to do it. So two at a time, we'll have folks come up and help if you want to help. If you don't, that's okay. But let's get started. So I do need two people. So who would like to start? Okay, come on up. And we have aprons if you want an apron. If not, that's okay too. Well, let's see. You brought your own apron.
Only because people in the picture had aprons.
I love it.
I'm like,
and here's the hand washing sink. So if you could do that first, and then you can grab an apron. There you go. Put that there. Okay, so I'm going to turn both of these ovens on at 400 to get these preheated. So I'm actually putting these, if you can see that far, I'm actually doing them at 410. So you kind of gauge your own oven, right? We're going to be baking these pastry sheets for part of the crostata. So I just know that these ovens are a little slower. So, you're mindful of whatever your oven does at home. If it's on par, then it's 400. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is roast tomatoes for the crostata. So we've got some San Marzanos, and I have some fun facts about the San Marzano tomatoes in your packets that you can check out. These are very classic Italian tomatoes. They come from the Pompeii region, which is kind of like southwest of Rome, where the soil is very volcanic, and so they're a very unique tomato, but they're very classic. And if you think of what you would make a tomato sauce for or with. Okay, so what we're going to do is try to strain these, because we don't want the juices, and then we're going to cut them into strips and just lay them on the cookie sheet. Well, you know what we can do? We got two stations. We're going to do the tomatoes first, so we're going to have both of you do tomatoes.
oh, okay.
So that we can get these in the oven. Then we will shift to the onions.
Which one? This one work better?
You know what? It's really whichever one you want. Probably the serrated, yeah, for this.
Can I move things, or you want this left here, don't you? Okay.
Yeah, and I use this one because it has a little ridge, so that you don't run all over the place with the sauce. And then
I don't exactly cut in the strips, but I get your get now.
now you could use fresh tomatoes. You certainly don't have to use canned. It's just a little easier if you really want to use San Marzanos to find it in a can versus in the grocery store here in Cedar Rapids. So if you can find them, awesome. Or you could just use beefsteaks or Romas. The San Marzano is a type of Roma, so you could just use Romas from the grocery store and slice them up. That would work just as well. So I had a question about the rosemary, so I'll tell you about that while they're cutting up. This is the rosemary. I cut a few sprigs off of my plant. So I have this huge plant that's like the size of it's just like bigger than my dog, that I've been transplanting in and out for like 4 or 5 years. And it just got so big, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just leave it outside and see if it makes it through the winter. but I'm hedging my bets that it's probably not gonna make it. So I cut off a bunch of sprigs, and I've been keeping it alive in this big vase of water throughout the winter. And then actually this weekend, I'm gonna put it in a big pot so that it can be in soil, and then I'll transplant it in the spring, like in May, when we're safe from the freeze. But you can do this with a lot of your herbs that don't stay alive in Iowa. So if you think of all the herbs that you might grow, there are a lot that will make it through an Iowa winter. I have sage, thyme, oregano, mint. All of those, they may look like death, but they will come back in the spring. So I kind of have those in a separate herb garden, and then I've got the ones like my basil, the rosemary's there, but we'll see what happens, in a separate garden that I know I have to replant every year. So if you are a fresh herb person, those are some ones that you can always have fresh stuff, and it'll keep coming back. So, okay, then we're gonna put them, let's put them on here.
Sorry, I had a tickle in my throat that wouldn't leave.
That's okay. They can overlap, because we're gonna put these.
Can we use regular?
We can grab a second pan.
I just don't know how much.
Yeah, let me do that. Because we don't want them overlapping too much. But they can
I
touch.
was gonna do another search, it's just because we're gonna do my dinner cutting. Ones that don't be cut.
You know, that's probably, let's just load that pan up.
Okay.
Because I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna get this going. So I've got a big saucepan. So I'm gonna use something deep because we're gonna slice all these onions and saute these. So I've got this on kind of a low medium back here. And if you want, we do need one person, so they're gonna cut the onions when they're done with that, but then we do need one person to stand at the stove and stir. So if you wanna do that without cutting an onion, come on up. Or did you have a question?
No, I'm gonna just.
You wanna come on up. Awesome. You've been here before, so you know the drill. So hand washing station, and there's an apron if you want. All set? Okay, I'm gonna take this, and then let me get in front of you to get another knife. Okay, so there's a clean board.
Is that one for the onions?
Perfect, yep.
Okay.
Are there any more in here?
Feels like there's a lot of sauce.
This is a lot of sauce. We're gonna save this. Of course. You know what?
Go through again.
Well, because we're only gonna put like 1 or 2 on each crostata, so that's actually probably fine.
If you don't mind bits and pieces, there's plenty of bits and pieces.
I think that's enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take this, and then if you want to wash up, and then we'll start with the onions. Okay, so we're gonna do all 3 of those onions. We're gonna slice them up. So we take those out, and then this can be your garbage bowl. And we're gonna just slice them thin and do kind of like half moons.
Okay.
So slice, but not dice. And then as soon as they get some, we'll come back to you. So what we're gonna put in our pan, we're gonna just do some olive oil, salt and pepper, and garlic powder on the tomatoes. So I'm gonna do that and get these in the oven. So another thing that I love to do with either fresh tomatoes, and it's a really good thing, and you guys can see, are those on? Yeah, so you can see what we're doing. You know, when you get to the end of the season and you've got like a ton of tomatoes, this is a wonderful thing to do with those tomatoes. You can either just put them in Ziplocs and throw them in the freezer, but if you just put them, like if you've got cherries or grapes, or even little Romas, to just put them directly on the cookie sheet, olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and roast them, and then throw that in the freezer. that's the base for your sauce. It's the base, I mean, you could throw it in chili. You could even put this in the Cuisinart and make homemade tomato soup. So it's such a wonderful way to preserve those tomatoes. That's perfect, yeah, and then just cut them, well, no, that's perfect, yeah. That works.
Did you just use a regular olive oil?
That's a great question. So the question is, did I just use a regular olive oil? No, ma'am. Great question. So there's so many kinds of olive oils, right? In the world, when you think of the grocery store, there's an awful lot. What really, if you want to be authentic, you need to find extra virgin olive oil. So it's not, let me get these in the oven. It's not the brand so much or the name. Okay, we'll give those, I think about, what do we do? Maybe, yeah, like 20 minutes. Okay, there we go. So it's not so much about the brand, it's about the type. You can use whatever but you want it to taste like an olive, not a crayon, right? So if you're using an oil that is not 100, it should say 100% extra virgin olive oil. The other thing that it really, in my opinion, needs to say, first cold pressed. That means it's never been heated. That means it's been crushed within 72 hours of being picked off the tree. And usually it's gonna be real, it's gonna be from Italy. So, it'll say product of Italy, not packed in Italy, or, because that doesn't mean that it's the origin. So those are really the things that you wanna look for in, is it a good oil? The other trick, if you forget all of that, it's usually in glass or a tin. So I buy mine in a 3-quart tin that's like the big rectangle, but it's a tin or it's glass. That's in general, I'm sure there's exceptions, but the plastic is usually not the real deal. Again, I'm sure there's exceptions.
You said fresh pressed what?
First cold press.
First cold pressed, okay.
Yeah, that is your key. Okay, let me take some of these from you guys. Excuse me.
Okay, now I'm taking them.
Actually, I just touched them. Could you do me a favor? Could you grab the olive oil? Yeah. Let's put a couple tablespoons of olive oil down in the pan.
This one?
Yeah, either one. Yep. Yeah, don't cut my finger off.
Right, exactly. Demo's over.
So do you want me to finish her?
Nope, just don't. We're gonna just turn it upside down and count, kind of. So we're putting a little more. So we just want to barely coat the bottom of the pan. Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to throw these in there because the pan is already warming up.
Do you want the non-happy ice cream chopped?
You know what, this is, well, I mean, yeah, if you can.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if they needed to be shapely.
They do not need to be shapely. Okay, you can start stirring, although, oh, that's a lot of onions.
It smells great. Just saute them and give me a fork.
They'll be leftovers, so if you guys want, like, some of the tomato sauce, some of the sauteed onions, there'll be stuff left. So when you get done with that, why don't you can go back and just dump that into her saucepan. You know what, if you want to just, well, you know what, we could use that again because it's going in the same pot.
Coming your way with more.
So we're going to let those sweat down a little bit, then we're going to add some garlic and the rosemary. So for you guys, if you want to do the rosemary next, then we'll have that done. So I'm going to cut a few sprigs off of here. And this is really easy. There's like tools out there, to strip like kale and stuff. You do not need a tool to strip the rosemary. It goes like this and you go zzz, and there it is. It's so easy to get it off of there. So we'll do that.
How many?
Yep, and let me cut a few sprigs for you. And we'll probably do like 2 for each of you. And then if you can chop those up. Actually, that's kind of a little one. Let me give you another one. And then we'll chop those up and put those in with the onions. And if you don't have the fresh rosemary, you can use dried, that's fine too. You could even change it up and do, you could do dried basil or dried Italian seasoning, which has basil, rosemary, sometimes roasted red pepper, or dried red pepper, which is awesome, oregano. So it's whatever you feel like throwing in there. The fresh rosemary is just like, you'll taste it. It's so delicious. Yeah, really just as tiny as you can get, because if you think about, how's that going? Just a tiny bit. But it's,
And it bounces all
if
over the
it's too
place.
much, holler and we can turn it down a little bit. If you think about eating it, right, do you want a bigger knife? Okay, let me grab it, please. We got this big, huge
Knife kit.
knife kit in here.
Oh boy, that's a big
Yeah,
one.
there you go.
That's perfect.
Yes, okay.
I like that.
That will work better.
It's a good reason.
You don't want to get one of those stuck in your teeth, so like as tiny as you can get them would be awesome.
They kind of ricochet.
Yeah, you kind of need to go slow on that.
Gonna make me give you another sprig.
You want more?
I don't know, they feel like they're flying everywhere, including the floor.
I think some of yours were a little dry.
They were. One
Okay.
branch was dry
I
and the
think
other
the
was
dry ones really good.
Those are probably harder to.
I don't know, maybe they all are that type of stuff.
I mean, you're the one that knows.
Well, these are a
better.
little browner, and these are a little greener. So let's get one more for each of you for the green, and that should be softer and easier to cut. But try to catch them. We want all those yummies.
Oh, what is that?
Is it an onion?
Little
Yeah,
tiny piece of
totally
onion. I'm
fine,
like,
yeah. It's going in the same thing. There you go.
yep, that makes a difference. Note to self.
That's okay.
You don't mind chasing around the kitchen.
No problem. Then we're gonna put some garlic in there. So this is my secret garlic. This is not purchased from a store, and I will tell you why. In my opinion, like, you don't buy this from the store if it's in the jar, because it's got like citric acid and it's got other crap in it that it doesn't taste like raw garlic. So what this is, I buy the big bag of raw garlic that is peeled from Hy-Vee has it, Costco Sam's has it, and I put it in the Cuisinart, the food processor. If you don't have one of these, that's my absolute favorite appliance in the entire kitchen. I made my pesto, my pasta dough, my hummus, the garlic. But I put all of the raw garlic in there, then put it in these little freezer-safe bell jars, just fill it up with olive oil, stick it in the freezer. For months, it's fine. And then you pull these out one at a time, you know, whether you're doing a stir fry or you're making a crostata, you've got instant fresh garlic with no crappy crap in it. So that's what this is. So we're gonna put this in the onions. And we have a lot of onions, so I'm gonna just dump this whole thing in there, which is probably about the equivalent, I think you should probably be,
Yeah, kind of
that didn't fit. Probably about the equivalent, oh, yeah, let's see. I'm gonna say 8 or 10 cloves is what's going in here. So I probably have 8 or 10 of these still in my freezer that I just circulated, and they're awesome.
Do you think they cook better? Faster?
I'm sorry?
Do they cook faster than buying them raw? I think so, right? Because the freezer breaks it down a little bit.
It might. I'm really just looking for the freshness, and I'm looking for only having to do that once every so often, and not every single time I cook.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Can you guys see this?
I can't quite get there.
You're
She's
hired.
rocking it.
Holy cow! That's amazing. Okay, so we're gonna
Like really
love it. No, that's perfect. So we're gonna wait just a little bit longer until those sweat down.
If all else fails, there's a future in shopping.
That was awesome. I should have watched. Okay.
Last time I was like, I should just keep going. She kept going, so I kept going.
Kept talking, so.
I know, it's like, you sometimes.
Okay, so let's consolidate, and then we're gonna wait just a few minutes before we put this in there. And then we'll start kind of getting our assembly look done. So let me get these out of the way.
So they actually is a pastry, that's not a dough. Is this, are we doing the bites or the?
Those are not the little cups, is that what you mean?
No.
We're doing the,
Crostata.
yeah, so we're gonna make the crostatas, but we're making it in, oh, you do have runaway.
Yeah.
Runaway rosemary. We're gonna make them in individual servings. So we're gonna take the pastry sheet and we're gonna cut the pastry sheet so that they bake individually.
Okay. Want me to open those?
Let me, in just a second, because I have the cookie sheets all prepped and back as well. Almost there, almost there.
My little coffee blender does a great job of taking raw, fresh herbs and
Oh, yeah,
chopping.
the bean grinder,
Yeah.
yes, totally, yes.
It does
I love
cinnamon, and cinnamon powder.
I have two little coffee grinders like that, one for coffee, one for herbs. Although, when I've done the cinnamon stick, I broke it. The blade, like, totally, it didn't like that at all.
How does that go?
I'm sorry?
How does that go? It permanently etched the inside of my cup. Oh.
Yeah. Got a lot of oils on there. Okay, let's do this next. Okay, can I come on your right? And let's put this in there. Here, can you push that? Yes, I'll put that on the bottom. And
So
then
you're
give that a
adding
good
rosemary
stir.
to the onions? Is that what you're doing?
Did you have a question? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just asking if you were putting the rosemary in the onions.
Yes, the rosemary went in with the onion. Yes, and the garlic, and we'll add just a little bit of salt and pepper to those. And these are getting close. Okay, there you go. You doing okay? Thank you for stirring. Okay, so let's prepare our pastry sheets. So you can get these, I know Trader Joe's has great ones. These are just from Hy-Vee, they're in your freezer section, where you would find, like, kind of where the pie crusts are. And I'm using a piece of parchment paper. For two reasons. I don't really like tinfoil if I don't need to use it, but it also, stuff sticks to tinfoil more than the parchment. The parchment is really awesome for the non-stick. Okay. So we're going to start, actually, I'm going to wait to open that because we might have enough. Yeah. Which is perfect because we're going to do 9 and 9. Thank you for coming. Let's grab. Okay, so these come in a trifold. You can keep it as one piece, but what I have found is that these don't cook as evenly, and the stuff that's in the center is usually raw, the dough anyway. So usually I cut this into 6 pieces at least, or 4, depending on how many people you have, you know, for your appetizer, if you're doing this as a dinner or dessert. We're gonna cut this into 9 so that it's gonna cook a little faster, and each person is gonna get their own personalized little appetizer. Oops, sorry. Oh, there they go. Yeah. Okay, so we're done. So let's let those cool just a tiny bit, and then we'll bring them over here.
Just
So
in
you're
case.
getting very precise.
Well, you know, see, not even, but yeah, better than it would have been freehanded.
Try not to cut the
Parchment.
parchment. So on my website, I've got 2 cookbooks. I've got one digital cookbook that you can purchase, but there's one on there that's free that has several recipes. And then also on there is the digital menu for all of my recipes for classes. I do private group classes so that I can do them virtually. You know, if your sister's in Florida and your brother's in California, whatever, we can do a virtual dinner party and create a custom menu, or we do employer team building events.
We're okay, sorry.
We're good. You're
I
good?
wanted to make sure that we did the same.
Those are perfect. Employer team building events, so part of your culture program, we can do as a cooking experience, and if you don't have your own kitchen, we can do them right here. So there's a full menu on my website that has all of the stuff that you can choose for either of those, but a couple things that I love to do with these, in addition to what we're doing now, is kind of like a galette, but not folding them over, where you could do pears and blue cheese and walnuts. Or to do, not a sweet one, to do asparagus and goat cheese. So I love these, they're very versatile. Okay, we're almost there on those. Okay, let's take our onions. So I'm gonna put these in the middle of you guys. Hot. And we're gonna just start layering the pastry sheets. So I have tongs for each of you. And we're gonna just coat, not thickly coat, because one thing that you need to be mindful of with these pastry sheets is if you put too much stuff on them, they're not going to be able to rise because it's too heavy. So you want to cover,
Okay,
but not
single layer it.
Yeah. Well, maybe double, but we still have the tomatoes, so we don't want it to be too heavy. And then we'll do like 1 or 2 tomatoes, and then we're gonna hit the olives, and then we'll sprinkle olives in here. Is there anyone who doesn't want olives in theirs? I can do some with no olives. There's everyone one? Okay, cool. Okay, so you guys head there. Then when the tomatoes come out, we'll grab that. Can you smell it? Can you guys smell it? It smells good. Okay, so the olives we're using are Italian green olives. My other favorite olive is an Italian cured black olive that you can't even get in the store here. So, but these you can, and they're so delicious. So what I'm going to do is take the juices out, and instead of, which I'm sure you guys will all be very thankful, we're going to put these in the Cuisinart instead of doing these by hand, and give them a rough chop, and then this will be the top of our crostata. I'm going to do 1 jar at a time. I don't know that we're going to need the 3rd one, so we'll see. You guys probably can't even see this. So this is the baby food processor. There is a big one that's like an 8-cup to do like a pesto or hummus or a pasta dough or pizza dough. But having one or a little one and or a big one are something you should put on your Christmas list or your birthday list if you don't have one, because they're awesome.
What's the cup size on it?
This, I think, is just 3 cups. And then the big one, yeah, usually, I don't know, I think they're like 6 to 8 to 10. Okay, we'll do. I'm gonna do one more table, we'll make sure. Okay, 1 more minute on the tomatoes. So how did you guys hear about this? Did you stumble on this on the website? A lot of you are new faces. How did you guys find this?
Library website.
Library website, okay, awesome. Good, good, good. Did anyone just, I think you guys just saw it on the digital board, right? That's awesome. Oh. Okay. So it doesn't really matter the order that you put this stuff on. So I think, why don't we go ahead and do the olives next so that the tomatoes can cool for just a couple minutes. So let me put this in between you guys. Oops, I get you. You know what, I can get, yeah, that's fine. Oh, these look great.
One without olive. You got it.
One without olive. Okay, so here's our roasted tomatoes. You guys see there. Can't really tell on the video there, but you can see them here.
They smell really good.
They look beautiful. So they've browned up a little bit. Now, if you wanted to do like a sun-dried tomato, you would do this like at a lower temperature, and I put notes in the recipe for like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So you could do that too if you wanted more of that really sweet flavor. But we don't want to do that tonight. Okay, and then after the olive, you can put, that's a lot of olives.
I didn't know.
You know what? It's all good. They're delicious. I did. I gave you a lot of olives.
Wait, well, I will redo there. Look at
There's
that.
only just like one,
I love it.
2 large olives.
I love
each
it.
one.
I make pasta with just garlic and olives, like loaded on. It's all good. All good.
Well, so this is part of making it too heavy, right?
Yeah, the olives shouldn't
Make a difference?
make it too heavy, but yes, we want to be mindful of that. So for the tomatoes, yeah, like 1 or 2. Perfect. And then we'll get those in the oven. And then to top it, we're going to put some cheese on there. Is there anyone who doesn't want the dairy, doesn't want the cheese? Everyone good with that? Okay. And then we'll hit our other appetizer. So this other appetizer we're gonna make is super easy. It doesn't even, you don't even have to bake it, but it's so delicious. So a lot of Italian cooking, they use figs. So this is figs with goat cheese. We're gonna kind of stuff it, like open it, stuff it, and then a drizzle of honey and a drizzle of balsamic glaze. And that's it. And it's gonna be, it's such a bite. You're gonna love it. I hope you love it. It's amazing. You're not convinced. Your face is like, I don't know how that sounds.
Putting all the flavors together.
Yeah. But that's
It's a lot of flavors.
Like the best is when it's like so crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of flavor.
And then cheese?
No, the cheese is gonna go at the end when it comes out. So these are going that's
That's the one that does all of it. I didn't know you were able to tell at the end.
Oh, okay.
Just because I didn't know, you know. I don't care as long as you do it right on the paper.
I think we can see it. I think we can see it. Yeah. Good call. Good call. Okay, in the oven.
I don't care how many people like excessive olives, so.
I love it.
You have double oven
These
at
are
home?
beautiful. I do. If you don't have a double oven, you could definitely do this.
Oh, 1-800.
In one oven. What I would recommend is that you halfway through you take them out and like switch and rotate. Because even if you have a convection, when you have two pans in there, stuff just does not, it doesn't cook the same. So, or you could do it one at a time. So while those are baking, we're gonna do our fig. You guys have done a lot. Thank you so much. You're welcome to stay up.
Somebody
If
else
someone
should
else
take
wants to
care-
come
take this
up.
spot.
Couple more people want to come up and help? Oh, sorry.
No, you're
I did
fine.
not.
I rinsed them off a little bit. They should be clean.
Want a spoon? Awesome. Okay, so there's hand washing, and if you want to do an apron.
And then a bone from it.
Okay, so we have one more volunteer to help. Is he going to the restroom or is he coming up? No, he's going. You can come back up here. Come on back up. Okay, let me get clean boards and clean knives. So you can get fresh figs, which are delicious, but in Iowa, probably not going to find them right now. Trader Joe's has amazing fresh figs when they're in season, which is not now. So we have dried figs. Now I've done an experiment of doing this appetizer with dried figs and fresh figs. The dried ones are delicious. So you're not settling on the dried. They are so delicious.
I was there for that experiment, and I
You-
thought the dried ones were better.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So these are, they're so good. Okay, what we're gonna do, we've got goat cheese. We're gonna take one of these figs, and they all have little stems on them, right? Because they're fruits off a tree. So if you kind of pull it apart, you can see the woody part of the stem, like kind of like an apple core. So we're just gonna cut that off. Then lengthwise, we're gonna cut this. You wanna help or you just?
No,
chop
I
it out?
can't see that far back. I've never seen the
yeah.
figs before.
And then look on the inside, just like the picture. It's like, they're so delicious. So we're gonna open these up, kind of like a butterfly. Then we're gonna stuff with the goat cheese and then close them back up and toothpick them. Okay? So if you wanted, however you wanna do your assembly line of like, I'm gonna get all the stems off. Yeah, I have no clue what to do with this. Okay, so some, like this one, it's almost like a belly button. So you have to find the stem. They all have little woody stems that you don't, of course you can eat it like you can eat an apple core, but it's not gonna be very delicious and it's gonna crunch, exactly. So just pull it out and
So if you were
then,
buying fresh figs, what would you look for in a good fresh fig? I've never seen a fig. I was picturing dates, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they, the fresh ones? That's
yeah, they're not, I mean, these are pruny looking, right? And they just don't look like this.
But close to the same size?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're about the same, maybe a little bigger, but they're about the same size.
I mean, grape to raisin, there's pretty.
There's a big difference. The fresh figs aren't, they're a little bigger, not a whole lot
Okay,
bigger.
all right.
So where do you get your figs?
These dried figs came from Hy-Vee. Yeah, they carry those year round in the veggie section. So then we're cutting them like this, lengthwise, like that. Okay. So you're kind of butterflying your figs. So I'll give you that, and again, you can kind of do your assembly however you want. And
I'm still kind of lost.
yeah, okay, let me help you. Okay, I'm finding the stem. I took it off. Okay, yeah, you've got 3 stems, you're good.
Okay, so
Okay.
I just like cut it.
Yeah, just keep doing, yeah, so maybe do, I don't know. I mean, if you want to do all of these, we can, because you guys can have more than one.
If you want fun stuff.
Yeah, it's just kind of, they hide. I want to see that one. Nope, there it is. but sometimes they're tucked in the center. Look at that.
Okay. Yeah, so just take off the stem, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
you're just, literally just cutting it off, and that's it. And then doing the butterfly thing.
So how do I do the butterfly thing?
Yeah, so this one, you just want to turn it on its side so that you get the long ways.
Oh, okay.
And then you're just cutting it in half.
Gotcha.
And you can cut it all the way through if that's easier, or you can keep it attached at the bottom. That doesn't so much matter because we're going to secure it with
Okay.
the toothpicks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Gia your relative?
Oh, good question. Yeah, so my name's Kelly. I'm half Italian, half Irish. And Kelly's Italian Kitchen sounds terrible. So, my daughter is Giovanna, named after my great-grandfather, Giovanni. So I named my company Gia's
Gia.
Italian, because I
Very
heard
nice.
short Gia. So my daughter and my great-grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually I remember to say that. I forgot to say that.
So I did go to the store to buy some olive oil,
Mhm.
but the recommendation was like, if you buy like olive oil that's like used for cooking, but the one that you said with the extra virgin and the cold press, that one was only recommended for like salads or like not so much for like cooking. So is that true, or can we use it for cooking?
That's a good question. It's about the temperature. So like what we did tonight, we did the onions on a low, medium-low heat. That's fine. You don't ever want to use olive oil on the high heat because it's going to burn and it's going to taste grody. And you're going to strip away a lot of the nutrients as to why you're eating or using extra virgin olive oil. So I always use it to start my sauce or soups because I'm doing it on super low heat. So I think that's really your guideline is don't ever use it on high heat, and then you're still preserving why you're using the olive oil. Yeah.
I think it's also the cost of olive oil.
If it's real, it's a lot more expensive. So you will see that in the price tag. But if it's you're not going to find like a bottle like that for $10 because if it's real extra virgin olive oil from Italy, first cold pressed, you're going to pay a little more for it. But like I said, when you taste it, it's going to taste like an olive. I mean, it's going to smell like an olive. It's not going to smell. I don't know. The crayon is the best description I could give you as to what I smell or taste when I am tasting other olive oils. Okay, so after you've butterflied them, we can start. We'll just do 2 because I think we're going to have a lot here. And we'll put these on plates, and then we can do the goat cheese.
We got by with the easy stuff.
So fun fact, actually this isn't really a fun fact, this is kind of a gross fact about olive oils, or oils in general. If you think back to, who was the guy that rode on the horse with the lantern? Paul Revere, right? Like a long time ago. Jack! Hi, Jack. I haven't seen you in a while. Are you gonna stay, or are you just coming to eat? Don't leave. Don't leave. Jack's one of my regulars. I haven't seen you in a while. So back in the day, you used oil lanterns, right, for light. That is actually not banned. Like, it's not illegal in the U.S. to add like crappy, unregulated oil. So if it doesn't say 100% extra virgin olive oil, you are not guaranteed that there are not other, not even vegetable oils in your bottle of oil. Just a heads up. Are you gonna die? No. Is it gonna taste yucky? Yes. And are you authentic? No, but does it matter at the end of the day? Not, again. But you want, like when you cook with wine, what is the recommendation? Cook with wine that you would drink, right? don't cook with crappy wine because you're not drinking it. Cook with wine you would drink because it's
Drink it as you cook.
yeah, maybe. But that impacts your recipe, right? So same thing with the olive oil. The good stuff makes a difference.
In the last recipe, if you used fresh tomatoes, did you change the roasting?
No. No. I still did about, I think, 18 to 20 minutes for the fresh tomatoes.
Really sticky with it.
Yeah, this is a little messy, so thanks for doing that portion. Okay, so I am taking, so the goat cheese has been out of the fridge for, since we started class, so it's a little softer and a little easier to work with. So I'm gonna put a nice little dollop of the goat cheese inside of each of these. And then I'm gonna close them up. Awesome. And then when you guys get done, you can do the same. And then you guys get to eat. Who's hungry? You guys hungry?
Yep.
Okay, how much time on that? Oh, we only have about 4 minutes left on that. So I put those in, I think, only at 15 or 16 minutes because I wanted to check them. Because since we did cut them into 9 pieces, I'm anticipating them not taking the full 18 to 20 minutes. And you'll know when we look at it, I'll show you. They'll poof up, the edges will be brown, and it will have risen quite a bit. They're beautiful.
So if you are a pastry maker just because you like making pies, what would be different between the puff pastry and what a standard pie crust would provide? The puffiness?
To be honest with you, I am going to defer that question. I am not a baker. I am a chef. I do bake. I do have some desserts that I love to make, but I don't really have an expertise in the baking, so I don't want to tell you the wrong answer. I don't really know. What can I help you find? Over there. Sorry.
That's it.
So does anyone else? Do you want to ask your question again?
If you were using regular homemade pie crust, which is considered a pastry, but not a puff pastry, what might be the difference in?
The layers.
The layers,
Yeah, so.
Yes, it wouldn't
yeah.
come out the same way, would it? It would be
That's
one
true.
pastry.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Can I take a few of these? Yeah, because the puff pastry sheet, it's almost like, is it phyllo or phyllo? Whatever, fine. Yeah, where you've got the layers, and or a croissant or something.
Not more butter in it.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
butter, lard.
That's what I mean, it puffs, because it's a lot more butter,
When you
less
make
flour
it,
than the
yeah,
pie.
you like fold it and fold it and fold it, and then you try to like fold it and fold it and fold it.
Right.
It's like a dessert incorporated
Butter,
air.
butter, butter.
And more butter, and then you fold it and fold it and fold it, and then you pour air, so then it's layers of pastry instead of a pie crust. Which can have layers too.
So she asked me what is one of my desserts. So probably one of my favorites is
Tiramisu.
it's a twist. It's a twist, yes. So it's actually ironically layered. It's an Italian cream puff that's layered that does bake up like a beautiful croissant without having to do all the croissant stuff. Here, let me share with you and I'll open up the other pack. And then the inside of my cream puff, my mom's cream puff, is the limoncello, my homemade limoncello mascarpone that I put in my limoncello tiramisu. It's ridiculous. Have you had it, Laura? My cream puffs?
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, so I make my homemade limoncello, then I make the custard with the mascarpone and the limoncello inside of the baked cream puff, and they're amazing. They're amazing, ridiculous.
My
Love.
favorite dessert of yours is the lemon apple cake.
Oh, you're
That's
so sweet.
amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
So you must have been here in August, because we
Yes.
made that for the grand
Yes,
opening.
yeah.
Okay, when the library did their grand
Yeah.
opening. Yes, so that recipe is actually in my cookbook, in the digital cookbook.
It's fabulous, folks.
On the website, yeah, so it's an apple, lemon, it's almost like a pound cake, but it's not a pound cake, but it's kind of almost like a pound cake.
And I don't even like apple particularly, and it's amazing.
Thank you. It is delicious. Thank you so much.
Do you happen to know if they sell San Marzano tomato plants?
They do, because I have them in my garden.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Excellent.
Do you
Yeah.
hear the tone?
I do. I'm got sticky fingers, and then I'm gonna go over it. Okay, so let's take a look. Thank you. And see how these look. Okay, let me show you. So they're lightly brown. I'm gonna come between you guys. They're lightly brown. They've puffed up. I'm gonna give them maybe just 2 more minutes, because on the inside, they're still not lightly brown, and I want to make sure that the centers are cooked. So let's do a couple more minutes.
Do you have a lot of recipes with limoncello?
I do.
Are they in your cookbook?
So they're not in so I've got 2 digital cookbooks. One is a larger one, and then the little free one has just fewer recipes. But the limoncello is something that I make during like a private class.
Well, I own limoncello. And I bought the whole bottle of it before I realized I don't actually like the taste of it. But I'd love to cook with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, making tiramisu with the limoncello is one of my favorites. The cream puffs. Making
Like, what is it
You could do it.
substitute?
I'm sorry.
What do you use it in place of? Or you just add it in?
So normally the tiramisu is like coffee and chocolate, and so it's replacing. But it's kind of a different custard. At least mine is. You could do a spritzer. I love doing. You can either do a mocktail or a cocktail of a prosecco, limoncello prosecco spritzer. That's delicious too, with the limoncello.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I think we have enough plates. Yeah, so I mean, there's some stuff that aren't in those cookbooks because they're meant to be done either with me in a smaller setting, in a private class, but they're on the menu, so check those out. How you doing?
Good.
We're almost there. Then we can kind of do the drizzles.
I didn't do anything with toothpicks because I meant to have done something with toothpicks.
You know what? After we kind of wash up here, we can stab these. Yeah. It's really just to keep them together, but help so you can pick them up and eat them.
Yes.
Let's see if we can have that oven. That oven is not the same. I'm going to turn up my bottom oven and go like 2 more minutes. Without burning them. Okay, actually, did you wash?
Yes.
Sweet. Do you want to grab toothpicks? And the ones that do have the goat cheese, you can just stab those. And then, yeah, just stab right
In the middle.
up the top. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. Really, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just so you're closing them,
2 on the same or?
Yeah, so 1 toothpick per fig. And grab this one. Get 2 on this plate.
Something like this?
Space on that.
Yeah. Okay, then let me. Yeah. Well, no. 1 on each. Sorry. Yeah. 1 toothpick, 1 fig. Okay, so let me give you a few of those, and you can do that. We'll drizzle. So fun fact about the limoncello, there's no lemon juice in limoncello.
What'd you say?
There's no lemon juice in limoncello.
What's in it?
Lemon peel.
Lemon peel?
At least in mine, there's no lemon juice, which I think is pretty typical.
And what alcohol what's the base? Is it vodka or?
So you could use really any white, oops, I turned the wrong one off. Sorry, hang on, I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. Okay. Any white alcohol, usually a vodka. Mine is actually with Everclear.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it's a little potent, but what that does is the higher alcohol content draws out more of the lemon flavor from the peels. So you get a more delicious, less alcohol-y flavor of your limoncello with the Everclear than you do with the vodka, in my opinion.
And then when you cook, would you bake it? I mean, do you bake it once it's in the recipe, or is it added on later? Like, could you serve it to children, or is it really alcohol?
Oh, no, it's alcohol.
It's alcohol.
Yeah, no, it's not getting cooked up. No. Good question. Not getting cooked up.
So what is that?
So this is balsamic glaze, so I'm going to drizzle a little bit on each one after you've skewered them. Behind you here. And just some local honey. So another note about balsamic is that it's a balsamic reduction glaze that you could make at home. This has added sugar in it. If you have, like a true extra virgin olive oil, if you have a really, really good balsamic vinegar that's been aged in oak barrels, there is no sugar in it, and it's actually thicker than this. So just an FYI, these glazes do have added sugar, where a really, really good balsamic that's been aged, that's from Italy, has no sugar in it. And you'll taste the difference. The real balsamic that's aged in a barrel, I mean, it's undescribable. I mean, I should describe it. I mean, it's sweet, but it's so rich and so deep, and it's just delicious. Last summer when we were visiting, oops, at the time range. We went to, like you would do visit a vineyard and do a wine tasting. You can do a balsamic vinegar tasting. And they have some of their, those family-owned vineyards that have been around for hundreds of years. They've got barrels of just balsamic vinegar for like 10, 50, 100 years before they've bottled any of it. So we got to taste, I think we got to taste 10, 15, I think we got to taste the 50. We did. But they didn't let us taste the 100 because they only had like one or two barrels of it. So, but even the 50 was like, you want to faint. It was crazy. Okay, so do you want to come behind? And if there's balsamic, add a little honey. Then we'll know where we are. And of course, there's no rhyme or reason to which goes first. It's just, I don't want to double up.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Did you think of putting like a half a walnut in each one of them?
You absolutely could. That would be delicious. My son's allergic to nuts, so that's probably why I don't use nuts as much as I would like to. He's not here, so we could have, but just when I whip this up as a quick appetizer, I just don't do the nuts. But you could. That'd be delicious. Yeah.
But like usually the three ingredients kind of
complement
each other.
Yeah, that's a good point. Awesome. Okay, well, if you guys want to come up and grab a fork, and we'll plate these, and and come grab some food. And no olives.
Yes, we tell me.
Then it gets on the other side. And there, could you get the napkins over there? Just bring them up here. Oh, yep. Oh, you have the no olives.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, no olives. Here you go. Just grab a fork and grab a plate.
Wow, all right. We all lied. My dad's trying to fix it that way.
What about the cheese? What happened to the cheese? Oh, thank you. The cheese. Come on back up if you grab the plate. Do you want to? Thank you. I'm so excited to eat. I forgot the cheese. Here, let me get a scissors.
I got to get those in here. Hi. I know, who's this random lady down here? I'm too close now.
So just a. Yeah, why don't you do that? I'll do
You're
this.
close now. You're doing me.
So a note about the cheese. So this is Parmesan, shredded Parmesan. Usually, I would. Sorry. Usually, I would use fresh grated pecorino. The difference is that pecorino is from a sheep and Parmesan is from a cow. Do they? And the pecorino is a little saltier. And it's a little easier on your digestion.
Good, I'm learning.
Yeah.
Go back to this 1560s.
Oh, I guess I don't know about it.
Cheese for you.
Perfect. I thought of you, I think, when I heard this.
This is what I think,
Yes,
one of the things that make.
I think my mind
That's
was.
adorable. Did you make that upstairs?
Yeah.
Aw, thank you. That's so
Do you
cute.
have enough?
Of course, yes. Sure, you can have more. Sure, sure. You're welcome. All right. I'm sorry, that's the last one. Chop it in half. Chop it in half. Yes, here. Take it. So, how are first bites? Figs?
I'll never say I
Crostata?
have- I mean, that goat cheese thing is like, I can
And
eat
the
that
fig?
right before I go to bed first night.
Is it healthy?
What?
Are figs healthy?
Yeah, it's just a fruit. There's nothing added to it. I don't know the particular profiles of a fig versus, a blueberry, but yes, they're definitely, I would say.
I like them better than dates. I feel like dates are really sweet.
Yeah, dates are much sweeter.
Blue cheese stuffed dates wrapped in bacon and broiled.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those are
And those
amazing.
are good, but they're very rich.
Yes.
You can't eat, I could eat several of those.
There's a few more up here.
I'm good.
Come help yourself.
Thank you.
Well, that is our class for tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Take your time and eat. If you could take those packets with you and do me the favor of going onto my socials. I'm on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I've got a YouTube channel with over 100 videos. Do the social thing, like, comment, subscribe to help me grow. That would be awesome. And my email's on there if you have any questions about, what it looks like more for a private group party or an employer team building event. Please just shoot me an email and I would love to just chat more about it, or we could chat after class if you have questions. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for providing.
Thanks. And it's game time.
The record was
Only
just
4
set.
minutes past.
The
Game time.
record just happened like 10 seconds ago.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Ah!
Uh-huh.
I knew it was gonna be the first half.